Try lang yan. Good day. So I am Angeli Ms.Castrooo. So right now I'm going to explain to you the lesson syllabus I created in Holy Trinity College, grade 9, St. Luke. So hello and welcome to my class, English 9. So our discussion or the book entitled as Language in Anglo-American Literature. In Unit 3, the beginnings of American literature in 1600 to 1800. That belongs to the lesson 9, to the national beginnings or the American colonial experience. So this is the introduction to our class. So before I'm going to explain further, so I will read this introduction. So the American literature began with the legends, myths, and poetry of the American Indians, the first people to live in what is now the United States. The early American settlers faced a great number of problems. Foremost was the danger from ferocious Indians who tried to protect themselves from the strange white man. In the early years of American independence, American literature gradually separated from the shadows of Europe's literary forms and styles. So this is the question. What is the relationship between literature and society and its impact of early American colonist life on literature? So with this one, our topic is about the American independence. So before they are already invaded by the British colony, so from Europe. So with that, the white man invaded the country, what we call now as the United States. So the earlier linguists, they have their own literary forms and styles. So we will tackle about that later on. So what are the literatures or the types of poetry or the figurative language created in the early years of American independence? Okay. So what are the objectives of this class? So the first is, this at the end of this lesson, the student or the students will be able to identify key ideas about the literature, the representative authors who were the authors of the said literatures and works, the importance of historical or cultural events before, during the 1600 to 1800, and the perspectives or attitudes expressed in literature during the colonial period. This is the combination of the colonial period to independence. So what are the cause and effect relationships? So we're going to discuss about that based on the literature given. So we will get the sensory images from figurative expressions. So the word senses. Applied to oneself, the ideas read in poem. So what kind of poems we're going to tackle? So identify the connotations of words. As we all know that connotations is intrinsic. It's not literal. So we're going to go deep down based on the words or sentences given. So we will give advices and suggestions. We will give information and also the beliefs, opinions, or convictions based on the literature given. So at the end of this lesson as well, we're going to outline our opinions in an editorial way. And also in our grammar, we will use or we will check the models, either it is used properly or not. So what are the lessons to be covered? So in this lesson, we will discuss, or this literature is in 1600 to 1800 during the American independence. So this is the captured by Open Chan Kano. Reading a journal. It's a journal entitled Captured by Open Chan Kano. And the second one is a Song of the Sky Loom. So it's about we will going to check the words being connotated, or a connotation. So all these, we will check the vocabulary of these two types of literature according to its what do you mean by this? Vocabulary. So arranging words in a line. Next is the listening and viewing skill. So we will going to react appropriately, and we will give some suggestions based on this literature, and also the modals. And to the writing skill, we will going to write based on our response of this literature. So we will going, it's about a writing skill. We will write an essay or a particular written work. All right. So the class policies, as we all know that in every school or in every class, there's rules, or there are a lot of rules and regulations. So in my class, this is the first one. So attendance policy. The students are expected to attend class regularly and every scheduled class on time. So exceptions may be made for illness and valid emergencies. So attendance is a must for me. So that includes the add-on points or grades. Next is participation policy. So points are given to uplift the students' active participation during reports, recitations, and discussions, of course. So what to expect inside the classroom. So arrive to class on time the first. Be prepared. Be prepared of the discussions that we're going to discuss. Respect your classmates and teacher. Do your best all the times. Don't be shy. Go out from your shell. Be responsible for your actions. And also, no eating, no drinking, and no cell phones are permitted inside the classroom. Next, so the requirements for class inside my classroom. The first is in attendance. Next is the performance task. So we have the written, either it is essays or journals or any written works. The oral, the reports, the recitations, the participations, outputs, and projects. Assignments, of course. Student must have an active participation or positive involvement with the teachers, so that these two respondents must have a positive mindset with regards to his or her achievement. So any act of plagiarism or types of cheating will be result to a failing grade. So it's up to the student and it's up to me. Okay. So this is the grading system that I created. So the first is with overall of 100%. So written works 15%, performance task 15%, reports 20%, project 10%, quizzes 20%, and final exam 20%. So all aspects of this course must be completed in order to pass this lesson, regardless of the overall percentage earned. So if you have any question, just approach me. If your grades is unacceptable for you, so we will check your quizzes, your project, your reports, and your performance task, or any written works or any types of performance tasks that we've done already. we will done already. Okay. So thank you so much for listening to my lesson syllabus. So do you have any questions for me before we go? Before I go? Do you have any questions? So just please message me to my Facebook, Angeli Sato Castro, or info. Just PM me directly if you have any questions. So based on the topics that I've discussed earlier, so please study for that in advance, because we will tackle that later on. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you are already aware that for the next day or the next months that we will be together. So that's how I regulate, or what do you mean by this? How I rule inside the classroom. So thank you so much.